So how come you've written all these aphorisms, Robert?
I don't know. I mean, it's extraordinary how it began. I wrote a play in which there were 4 lines that friends said, those are good aphorisms. And I thought, well, why don't I just do them as standalone one-liners, hence the one-line sage on Twitter. And I did. And the bug really bit me, and I've been doing them ever since.
So what exactly is an aphorism?
Well, one example might be, for instance, the absent-minded professor is not so much absent as present elsewhere.
And you have 4,000 followers on Twitter already.
I can't believe it. I really can't believe it. They gained immediate traction, started in March, just in March, a few months ago. And my agent wants to include a lot of those that were favorited and retweeted in my book.
Ah, so there's a book of aphorisms due.
There will be in a few months.
And your education, has that helped you with the aphorism?
I think it has, actually, to be honest. I really do. Because I was very woolly, starting off. And now I get a real thrill from putting a complicated thought into one line. I get a kind of eureka moment every time I do it, hence the bug. A novelist, you see, has to sort of plough on page after page, whereas I get a eureka moment every line I write.
And what's been your career so far?
Well, after uni, I went spell with the Foreign Office in academia, and I ended up in journalism. And I trained in the late 70s, and did what launched my career in what was then Fleet Street, now Wapping, was a major interview I did with Mrs. Thatcher, who the following year became Prime Minister. And that was a big interview, and that really began to open doors for me career-wise.
Okay. As well as the book, you also mentioned a stage play.
The stage play is called Commanding Voices, and it had a longer than average 5-week run in London, up in Hampstead. And in fact, come to think of it, it's about due for revival.
Ah, so we could be seeing it again.
I hope so.
In the West End?
Well, it nearly made the West End first time round, but hopefully this time it might. Or maybe a #1 national tour, yes. And then possibly into the West End. We'll see.
And have you always lived here in London?
No. I was born in a small country village down in Kent, and the culture shock that I would have experienced had I come straight from a small village to London would have been huge. But fortunately, it was mediated by 4 years in uni in a small market town called Cambridge. You may have heard of it. The other extraordinary, because I really put roots down when I came to London, and one of our more radical townies on the Residents' Association was very sort of anti-country. Extraordinary, because I love the country, having been brought up in it on farms as a kid. And we were going to plant trees in our streets, and he was dead against it. And we said, why? And he said, because they're so messy, all those leaves that fall every year. And between you and me, Robert, I don't think he's ever been out of London.
That sounds like the germs of another aphorism in there somewhere.
It could be. It could be.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Robert. That was fascinating, and I really look forward to seeing the book and seeing the play.
Well, it's my pleasure. I really enjoyed it. Thank you.